everyone, Pippin and Miss Brown here, bringing you the second episode of Art Time with Miss Brown. Looks like Pippin might be camera shy again. Um, Today we are going to learn how to make two different kinds of sculptures, one with tinfoil and one with paper. So let's get started. Yay! Bye, Pip. Okay, so like I said, today we are going to do two different sculpture projects. They can be a little tricky, but I think the more you practice it, the easier it'll be. The first one that we're going to do is the tinfoil figures. Okay, you're going to need tinfoil, masking tape, scissors, and then a markers, Sharpies, paint, whatever you would like to do to color them. So let's get started. Okay, so first you're gonna need to grab some tin foil. I say about the size of like my hand, maybe like 6 inches or so. I'm gonna carefully tear that off. So the first figure we're going to make is a human figure shape. So I'm going to grab a pen so I know where to cut. I'm going to draw a vertical line towards the bottom. And then at the top, I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines. These are going to tell me where I need to cut with my scissors. Then I take my scissors and I just cut along the lines that I drew. Okay, now once I'm done cutting, I need to squeeze the middle of the tinfoil first. This is going to create the body of my tinfoil person. I want to be really careful not to rip the tinfoil because it is kind of breakable. Now the more you squish the tinfoil together, the stronger it'll be. See how I'm kind of separating it out? So I want to squeeze the middle of my tinfoil first. Then I'm going to start with the legs down at the bottom. I'm going to squeeze it together. Now again, the more I squeeze it together, the stronger it'll be. Sometimes I fold it up and make it even thicker. Okay, moving on to the next leg. Again, folding it up and kind of squishing it together makes it a little bit stronger. Now moving up to the arms, I'm going to then kind of squish together the arms. Again, I can fold it up, maybe even fold a little bit at the end to make a hand, which is a good idea. And then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and squish the head. Now what I have found is that triangle part at the top is going to be the head. What I found is that sometimes I need to add a little bit more tinfoil to maybe make the head a little bit bigger to add some details. And that's totally fine and cool. That is something that you can do. And there's my completed person. I think he looks great. On to the next part. Okay, next I'm going to take masking tape and I am going to wrap my tinfoil person in masking tape. The reason we do this is that the tinfoil itself is kind of weak and we use the masking tape to make it stronger. Also, the masking tape makes it a little bit easier to add color to it. It's easier to paint, it's easier to color with markers. Notice that Miss Brown is taking little strips at a time and wrapping it around the tinfoil person. I find this to be a little bit easier to work with than having really long pieces all at once. I also you can add as much masking tape as you want. Again, maybe you can make little outfits for them using the masking tape or adding more details that way. And as you can see, when I was done wrapping in masking tape, I just took some Sharpies and colored it in. I found the Sharpies were kind of hard to get in all the nooks and the crannies, so we're going to try a different method next time. Okay, this one we're going to make a animal shape. So instead of doing the vertical line at the bottom, we're going to do 2 sets of diagonal lines. This is going to be more for an animal that has like a tail. So you're going to cut along those lines. So I think of like animals with tails would be like a wolf or a cat or something like that, or a tiger or a lion or something. Next, you're going to squish the middle just like we did when we had that person, trying to keep the legs and the tail and the head separate. Then you're going to take your time. You're going to squish all of the arms and the legs together. Remember, the more you squish them, the stronger that they will be. See how like I'm kind of folding them up on themselves? All right. Next, I'm going to make the head, kind of squish the head in shape. This would be a good time if you were going to make like a cat, maybe adding a little squish for the ears. Now I have to wrap it in masking tape, just like I did with the person. So I'm going to take my masking tape, I'm going to wrap it around. Remember, using small pieces, okay, small pieces at a time. The more masking tape that I add, the stronger my creation will be. So we're going to watch Miss Brown as she covers the creation in masking tape. Okay, now that I've completed covering my creation in masking tape, I'm going to go ahead and paint them. All right, so I'm painting it using acrylic paint. If you don't have acrylic paint, that's okay. You can use tempera paint if you want to. I liked using the paint a little bit more because I could get into all the little nooks and crannies that was created by the masking tape. But again, it gets a little messy, so you might have to put some like a paper towel underneath your artwork, like I did. It also gets all over your fingers, so get ready for that. It's really fun. It makes you look like an artist. I chose to paint this to look like my other cat, Cricket, who's all black. So I painted it all black first, and then I went ahead and I mixed some colors to do his little pink nose and his yellow eyes. And voila! Here is our finished product, me and my cat Cricket. This was a pretty fun sculpture project, but we're going to try another one. I hope you had a lot of fun making those tinfoil figures. The next one we're going to do is a little bit simpler, still pretty cool. What we're going to do is we're going to make Alexander Calder inspired paper sculptures. Now, Alexander Calder was an artist who had a very long career. He did things like make circus performances out of things he found around his house, and he's probably best known for his like beautiful mobiles. But what we're going to focus on today are his steel outdoor sculptures. Now, these things are larger than life. A lot of the times they're found in like big sculpture parks. They're painted either black or like a bright red colors or bright, but they're always one color. They're pretty cool. I think they're really neat. And so we're going to use the paper to be inspired and create our own paper Alexander Calder sculptures. Okay, so the things you're going to need are scissors, coloring materials, and construction paper. After you get that, what you're going to do is take your construction paper, have it be like a longer rectangle, and then you're going to fold it in half. Now when you're doing this, I like to take a Sharpie or a pen and draw where I want to cut. I want to make sure not to cut on the fold. So I'm going to draw my lines just to remind myself. Notice that my lines aren't going anywhere near the fold. I want to make sure to keep that fold intact. So once I draw my lines, I'm then going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along those Sharpie lines, again, making sure not to cut all the way through. I want to stop at the end of the line. Don't cut the fold. That's the key here. And once I am done cutting, now it will be time to decorate. I'm going to unfold it. Okay. Then I'm going to take my oil pastels and add some decorations. Now you can get as crazy as you want to. I kind of did some fun like geometric lines and dots and stuff. I want to make sure to do both sides. I think on the other side I switched it up and did some Sharpie coloring. The tricky thing with the Sharpie is that if you have really dark colored construction paper, it doesn't show up as well. So something like an oil pastel might work better. Once you're done decorating, you are then going to do the folding. So what you have to do is you kind of alternate. So I fold up and then back, fold up and back. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but opposite. So back, then up, back, then up, and until it can stand on its own. And here's what it looks like when it's all done. Now what you can do is make a bunch of them and make a sculpture part for your tinfoil person. How fun! Yay! I know this episode was really long and I really appreciate you sticking around. Remember, if you make any of the tinfoil figures or the paper sculptures, to please you snap a pic, put it down in the Facebook comments, or you can email them to Miss Brown at... And if you do, I may just include you at the end of our next episode. So thank you to all of you who took pictures of your still lifes last week. So as we exit today, we are going to take a look at those beautiful work of arts. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.